baby, you want to come here? Come here. Good girl. Can you sit good? Sit. Good girl, sit. This video is on masculine energy, yang energy, and I am going to have a full class about this topic. I'm going to have a full class about this topic with presentation and photos that you can see, but for now I'm going to do just kind of offhand conversation, but I do have a little bit of a framework in the background. Masculine energy, and this is for men or women or somewhere in between. Masculine energy is yang energy. It's when you know yang, it also comes with its polarity, yin. Yin is the feminine energy. So in this world, we have polarities. We have the yin and the yang. And the yang is the masculine. And that's what I'm going to focus on today. And it's actually, some ways you need to have the opposite. You need to have a conversation about the yin, the feminine energy, to contrast and fully understand. I often have conversations about yin energy. And so that's why I'm doing this recording of the yang, because it's equally as important. So let's start in the chakras. Let's go down to the first chakra, the root chakra. The root chakra is a masculine chakra. It's our original masculine energy. Some of the attributes in this area that correspond to masculine energy in general, but specifically in this root chakra, are security, safety, feeling in the physical body itself, as opposed to being lost in your mind. That physical body being healthy. In some ways it's strength, because it's solid. It's protection. It's a fatherly type of energy here. There's an archetype. This was one type of healing practice or modality in general, are archetypes, which are, in my words, it's like the divine or the perfect or a full expression of a genre of thing. But you know what an archetype is. Don't have to describe it. But the archetype in the root chakra is the inner provider. And how you work and practice with that is that inside each of us, we're able to tap into that. It's like a part of our consciousness, our collective consciousness, has and identifies with that archetype, and we can embody it, whether in meditation, in our mind, in our thoughts, in feeling, and in embodiment practices to memorize, so that our energy, our emotions can start to memorize that feeling, to law of attract it, but to get our body to start creating those neural pathways, getting comfortable. So that's a way of using the inner provider as an archetype. And that's the energy of the root chakra. So the way that I describe how the inner provider is in an experience of getting to know it is that your inner provider is like a fatherly or husbandly being. And this isn't just for women, it's just for men too. Being, and you can imagine it in a cave. Imagine like cavemen type caves on existence. And this cave, it's not a tunnel, it has an end. But this is your house. And you get to go there at whatever state you're in, whether you're a overwhelmed female, overwhelmed male, whether you're sick, whether you're tired, whether you just don't have a specific thing. Maybe you could be really healthy, but you're missing enjoyment in work or whatever it is that you need provided for. I'm going to pause because there's background noise. So he's there in the cave and you're there. Now you go to him in your body and your mind for protection. And he stands at the cave, at the mouth of the cave. And he is so perfect and so divine and so capable of protecting from anything on the outside, animals, whatever it is. He wins over them. He protects you. And it's almost like the mouth of that cave is magical. He goes out and he comes back and gives you that bread that you're in need of. He gives you the support. Personally, I use him in moments when I need a hug, when I'm sad, like if I'm alone and I'm overwhelmed emotionally. I will feel and imagine strong, muscular man holding me and having such emotional intelligence and saying, "Shh, I got you, it's okay, you can cry." And he will then say the supportive words, he's providing me nurture and support in those moments, safety. So that's the archetype for the root chakra, and that's a glimpse at sort of a divine masculine archetype. He's not when you say whatever you call him, when you say to him, I need a hug. Maybe in real life, when you were younger and you needed a hug, your masculine that's in your body now, your memory of the masculine energy said, I don't care if you need a hug. We all need hug. We don't hug in this family. Or if you started crying and you needed that emotional thing, maybe if you're a man, he absolutely did not say, it's okay, I got you. He said, fucking stop crying. Men don't cry. Or would say, go to your mom. That's a poor provider, right? And we're not blaming him. We're not blaming. It just was. He didn't have the healthy energy. He never learned it. He never had it imprinted on him. So now we're imprinting it on ourselves by doing these practices. So instead of a spiral or, I don't know, a negative response that perpetuates for a long time, in my example of needing the emotional support, instead of wallowing for days or months and it turning into a depression, it's easily solved. It's a solution. This is a tool. And it becomes a tool for repetitive use. And it eventually will turn into that this is the type of man that I know and that I will attract as my husband. And for the men, it's this is the type of man that I'm becoming. In both the women, and this is the type of masculine energy that I'm becoming. Because you know what? That's me. It's me being the one saying, I support you, I got you, you're safe. Right? It's my imagination, it's me. So that's the root chakra archetype that the inner provider. So the solar plexus, the third chakra, the second masculine chakra, qualities. It's the yellow chakra. It's in our stomach. The qualities are power. This is where strength is featured. Power, strength, courage, action, forward momentum, light, brightness, heat. And it's like a punch. That's what the energy is. It's also a clench, though. It's a protection. So my first suggestion is always, if you want to work on this energy center, is to do core work, develop some abs. And you'll be standing tall, and yeah, the standing tall is key too, right? Shoulders back, that's a confident and strong stance. The archetype in here is the warrior. It's the defeater, warrior, and I'm describing the warrior as the fighter, the defeater, for divinity, for righteous, for freedom, for love. It's not evil. It's not fighting for no reason. And the thing about the warrior is that he too is unstoppable. He's, he can fight things 10,000 times bigger than him and more powerful than him. But he's the warrior and he wins. And sort of might be too big to connect the phrase God always wins or light wins in the end, but it's definitely similar, right? Like what are all of these chakras at their highest and at their pure form? What are they but God energy, light energy, divinity? We get to work on them to have more of that in ourselves. So definitely tap into that divine warrior. What are you fighting for? What's your purpose? What's your cause? And it doesn't have to be, a sentence. I fight for kids without food. That's really specific. It can just be general feelings. Who are you? Your ego lives in this area too. And your identity or individuality. And it can be holy. Those two things can be righteous. There's lots of negativity that can happen with too much ego. But if you're in the light, if you're of God, if you're of the universe, if you're of goodness, then yeah, we're all unique. We all have individuality. And it's your duty to be yourself, just like it's my duty to be myself. And that takes courage, because throughout life we're born and people tell us, be this way. They don't even tell us, right? They do tell us, but they non-verbally force us. And by they, I mean our parents, everybody, life, cultures. So it takes courage to know yourself, to know the God within you, and then say no to those other things, or block yourself. Say, okay, I know that you influence me and you want me to do this, that's not what I'm about. So I'm gonna prevent it. I'm gonna keep going. And I think on a dimension, things happening at the same time, I think part of ourselves, like our closest part to the divine, like our most perfect self or most full self, is that warrior that's like, oh, something's coming, maybe right here where we are in Earth, it seems totally unable to beat my force being impressed upon me. You have to go to school. You have to do this. Maybe if I don't have the strength right now, it's like, okay, fine. Okay, I'm doing it, even though it's going against my core. But at that higher level, that's where we're like, shield up. No. You know what I mean? So it's still us. It's another level of our awareness, level of our consciousness. So shield and sword are two really good symbols for this chakra. So it's fire. Especially a fire that doesn't quit, an eternal fire. So the sun is a symbolism. You can envision the sun burning here. I'm not sure if you can see it. Here. So it's below your rib cage. Imagine you're flexing and it's like, imagine this is your belly button. It's this area right here, right? And then your rib cage is starting up there. And right below your belly button is your sacral feminine chakra, orange. So you can visualize that space this big of a sun, of a burning, beautiful flame. And it just is so interesting because the other chakras have other symbolisms, but they're all together. It's not just the sacral, the solar plexus. That's where we have the corruption and evils. There's, I'm sure, plenty of reasons for the various evils that we see. Ultimately, whatever evil there is, it's because there's a block of the light seeing it. If it's something is evil right here where this finger is, it's because there's a block of natural God, natural universe, natural love, natural light to touch it. It's not, that's the only reason, because there's a block, there's a shadow, it can't touch the light. We're not seeing the light. Masculine energy. We touched the solar plexus, the archetypes. I'll give you one other practice. This is called the breath of fire. It's a Kundalini breathing exercise where you pull in on your stomach and diaphragm and exhale over, and it gets your heart going. So I don't have any tutorials right now on YouTube of a breath of fire, but you can look it up. Do it with a Kundalini teacher. Okay, so something with these chakras, the masculine chakras, is that they condense. They're hard. They're solid. Whereas the feminine chakras are open, flourishing, and receiving. So that's a good example of the difference between masculine and feminine energies, yin and yang, the sun and the moon. So let's rise up to the throat chakra. Oh, I know the thought that I was missing. It was before when we were talking about the evils. That we see a lot of egotistical people when we only focus on this one individual chakra, the chakra of individuality. And it's like all these people are saying, I'm the warrior and I'm unstoppable. I am different than you and I'm unstoppable, right? And they clash. Whereas if the chakra above them were enabled, their heart chakra, they would say, I'm an awesome individual. And so are you. You're equally as awesome as me. So I'd like to see more of that, right? I think that's the evolution of life. Okay, throat chakra. Throat chakra is sound. It's connected to your ears as well, listening. The number one practice for throat chakra energy, for me at least, that I suggest is singing, is maybe writing, expressing your thoughts, or just releasing the sounds that are inside. Throat chakra identity is a really mature masculine energy because it's responsibility. It's like a speaker, you know. Imagine a true leader who can communicate well, who speaks with intelligence, who speaks with love, who speaks with clarity, and he can give direction because he's intelligent, he's knowing, and he can see a path and he can guide with clarity and confidence. He can say the difficult and the difficult conversations. Logical, where he sees the root, it's easy, it makes sense, can explain it so that everybody can understand, and he can educate. He has a lot of responsibility. The archetype for now that I am aware of is this leader archetype, this righteous guy. And I think of my older brother a lot, and he is in the police, and my brother's a leader, and he's also quiet at other times. Our family dynamic is that I can be, when I'm around my family, I can be goofy and silly and humorous and rambunctious, and he's calm and logical and intelligent. He's kind and sensitive too. But he embodies the throat chakra, high masculinity. He goes out into the community and does the right thing, right? He stands strong. And it doesn't have to be my brother. Obviously, you don't know my brother. But I'm just describing this character of the developed masculine, and he knows when to be silent. Now I'm just talking in general. He knows when to be silent, and his words have meaning. They have punctuation. They make you think. But it's not just his words, it's his actions. It's his go about. Oh, you can think of him as the king archetype too. Maybe the king, I think, is also associated with the crown chakra, which the next chakra up would be the feminine queen chakra, the intuition and wisdom. And the crown chakra is a combination. It's the masculine, it's the coming together of the masculine and the feminine energies. So I'm not sure if I would put the king here or if I would put the king here. In some ways I would put it here. But the ways that I would put it here is when he bestows the chakra, the throat chakra king qualities are making sure that the city is regulated in a everybody is healthy, everybody is taken care of, and handling, overseeing that. So in everyday life, you can judge or contemplate on your levels of masculine energy by the actions that you're taking. Are you fatigued? Are you tired? Are the actions that you're taking in alignment with what you know to be right for you? Are they imposed on you? Are you too afraid to take the actions that you know are right? Are you over actioning? Are you taking so much action for an unknown reason because there's some pressure, there's some fear? Are you safe? Are you in touch with your body? When I say, this is the root chakra, when I say bring your attention to your right foot, can you do that? Can you feel your body through your mind? Are you embodied? Are you doing embodied practices? Or is your mind so active and not in touch with your body? Not when you're in touch with your body, you're in touch with the present moment too. You only in your mind, and you're missing what's going on around you, because when you're only in your mind and you're missing what's in front of you, you can't be a provider. You can't protect your daughter or son or wife, right? Because you're lost in your mind, your worries, whatever it is you're thinking. Women who are not in their feminine but are in their unhealthy masculine, they're the ones who are maybe doing too much work, improving. For what? Is it now? Doing work is good when you're doing it with purpose, when it's correct, and that's something that only you would know. But if you have no touch with your body or your soul, how will you know? You'll just be taking your action based on when you were younger and you were imprinted on your cells, your ideas of what this is what life is, this is what masculine energy is. You're just going to be doing what you were taught until you become aware of if you were taught poor lessons, and until you become aware that those lessons were poor and that you want to learn good actions, good lessons, or right actions. And then you don't just watch one YouTube video of me telling you it, you do it over and over, when you have real life practices. And it's continual. I think education is good, but the experiential, something I think that is a gift of mine, is part of my purpose, is these conversations, because I think I can hold that vibe. I think when you're watching and I talk about the leader, I talk about the warrior, I talk about the safety, I think I emanate that emotion, and you can pick up on it and then feel it in your body if you're sensitive enough. All right. I think for my next conversation on this, I'd like to go into more on what it does look like with the... Actually, I can talk about it now. Let's talk about a man, real life example of a male human who has underactive masculine energy. Right, he's more sensitive, which is okay. I think I'm afraid of saying something hurtful or something that might not be exactly what I think. But I'm gonna go for it anyways. The soft man is not in touch with his courage. He's not in touch with his solar plexus. And there's something blocking his safety and his protection. Now, a softer feminine man has his place, but that doesn't give excuses for the blocks or the misalignment. And so the softer man, those are important, especially in the higher maturity of the masculine, because the masculine energy, it goes through, you only get to that mature throat chakra after going through the heart and going through the other feminine chakras. Like, it's not, they don't, masculine and feminine, they don't exist not touching. They're in line, right? They're together. And then you go through one, and then you go to the next, and then you get the next, and then you get the next. And then you become better, 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 until you become the ground chakra energy, right? It's close to God, divine, perfect balance. So that softer feminine guy has those traits of consideration that the opposite spectrum of the masculine man is missing, who's inconsiderate and yells and is quick, to judge and quick to anger. Maybe his only emotion is anger or horniness, right? It's like, do you know men who those are their only two emotions? They're only in their like root and solar plexus. They've not integrated any of the feminine energy to become balanced. And that overly feminine guy needs to be safe, needs to have that provider for him to know, okay, it is safe for me. I'm not going to be teased for being soft or whatever. Like, okay, this is okay. I'm confident in this. And then I'm strong. I'm strong in myself. You can be sensitive without being weak. Women too. You can be sensitive without being weak. Okay, let me talk about the feminine, the overly masculine, feminine human. I already spoke a little bit, but has none of the feminine energy blossoming in her. She rejects it. Anytime her emotions, her creativity, anytime that emotional feminine energy comes up, she says, nope, here's my shield. I'm just fighting away. And she's probably not in tune with her purpose either. I'm just fighting away at what cause? To prove something so I can make this money. Well, you doing it like that is draining you. It's bringing out bad emotions. And it's going to take you a lot longer time and deteriorate yourself. And for the woman with no masculine energy or not letting that masculine energy in, looks like only in the feminine energy, too lazy to take action. Maybe she knows there's action to take, but her body won't let her. This is actually where I've been in my past, where I came out of. I wasn't overly masculine, I was overly feminine. And that's when I developed the safety and the power, the confidence and the purpose. And then you can communicate those boundaries. This is why I have my shield up. So some other symptoms of the overly feminine is, this is a hot take, but is depression. Yes, this is vague. I'm sure there's other reasons that I could give for depression too, but I think it's from not an establishment of the healthy masculine. And I say that because the masculine is the holder of the feminine. It's also the pusher to get up and keep going. I think I'd like to finish that thought in more detail. So I'm not putting a period on that, just so you know. There's more that can be explored in the depression coming from not enough masculine energy. So the last visualization that I want to give you for masculine energy is structure. The masculine energy is this glass, and the feminine energy is the water inside of it. Masculine energy is a straight line, and feminine energy are the organic vines growing on it. Masculine is straight, it's angles, it's mouth. And the feminine energy is the organic, it's the fluid, it's the in motion. And masculine is solid, or repeatedly solid. You can think of a drum. That's the root chakra. The steady, steady. Okay, lecture over. Go forth and have healthy masculine energy. Bye. If you liked this video, you like this content, you just like listening to me talk, please subscribe and like this actual video. Click the like button. Feel free to comment, to write your thoughts, or just say hi to me. I would appreciate the comment. If anything I said in the video, maybe you want to contradict, you can do that too. It won't bother me, and I'll consider responding. It's a little negative of me to say, but I'm just saying, comment on my video. And if you want to learn more about energy healing, chakras, and realistic, practical healing advice, I have a book for download on Amazon Kindle Library. So it's called Divine Alignment, A Simple Guide to Energy Healing. And it's by me, Savannah Jo Reeves. Thanks for listening. Subscribe. And have a good day. Bye.